What's up, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, day 6 of rehearsals, Big 5, and the host nation rehearsing for the very first time. It's our first glimpse at the rehearsals and what they're going to put on stage. And Michael Rice just wrapped up his first rehearsal, actually, bigger than us. Let's talk about this, if you liked it or not. Let me go first on this one. So Michael Rice, to me, the best thing about the song, still to me, is Michael Rice's voice. I think he is very talented, and he's still very young, so I think he needs to kind of just come together as an artist, because I think there's a little bit lost who he is as an artist, because he gets a little over-hyper sometimes with his physical and his animations, but that is fine, you know, we all have that probably, but I do think he's very talented, and should be the focal point of the performance, and that's my favorite part. Now, as far as the staging is concerned, it is very, I call it 1998 or like between 2005, like an X Factor kind of staging where he's alone on stage at first, and then the backup singers join him at some point, but they do this lineup and all white, and then they do a circle at some point. And other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. The one thing I don't like, and that is how they change, just like they use like some sort of filter when they put on stage. It seems like almost kind of washed the colors on stage, so it really doesn't look right. Makes Michael Rice, who is pretty white, you know, pretty pale to begin with, even whiter, and almost like a black and white. And that is not an effect I really do not appreciate. I think they need to add a little bit more color on there. The other thing I would like to point out is the thing I don't like. Oh, not, I shouldn't say I don't like. I wish they would do is crank up those backup vocalists and the last chorus, because that is the grand moment where they all go in circle, and they should all hear them a little bit more. I think that popping moment, I'm going to compare this, and it's irony that I'm compared now to Sweden because it's the same songwriter, John Lundvik, but this is what I think Sweden really does well, is when those backup singers come in and really create that moment. And the UK is lacking that moment, that I needed. As far as the rest of the staging is concerned, it's fairly simple. You know, that he walks up to the camera and there's a lot of smoke effect, and then he sings. Then he's mostly alone on stage. So it's a very, you know, low budget staging. I don't necessarily think that the staging itself will elevate the song to a newest, highest level. It's not the worst staging by any means. I've seen way worse. But I just wish there was this final spark missing, that something that makes it stand out. And I'm really hoping they're going to listen to some of my advice, because I think that song would be high up in my ranking if it has a little bit more of that factor, because the staging itself doesn't have that really moment that grabs me a whole lot. But it's, you know, that's just my opinion. Brit, yeah, you go first.
Yeah, I think personally I can't say that I'm exactly disappointed with the staging. I think there's enough bare bones there to be working with. Michael's obviously the star of the show. He's a fantastic performer. I think probably, I would say, no bias, the best male performer we've probably got this year. I think in terms of his vocal power, I think he's really a talent there that we've got. And I just wish that I wish the staging would match it a little bit more, and I wish that, like you say, the backing vocals, it does need to be compared to Sweden, because it's a very similar type of song, and I think that's what Sweden do really well, is they really power up the vocals from the back. And I think especially where we've got a shot where we've got all 6 of them standing in a circle and it's quite powerful, make that powerful, make that a really, you know, grab you moment, because at the minute it's not quite there, and you know, the camera work at that point isn't as strong as it needs to be. I agree with you about the filter that they've got. It's almost like they've reduced the saturation, because the backdrop they've got with the galaxies, the universe, it is, because we got one shot where it was completely, you know, there was no filter. It's beautiful. It's a stunning backdrop, and I think they really need to make that work. And yeah, I think there is enough there to work with. I think there are certain dramatic moments that work well. There's certain moments that don't. I think, again, similar criticism with Italy is that I think there are slightly too many wide shots that don't really work with the performance. But I think, you know, I'm happy with where it is at the minute. It's not going to elevate it to being a winning song, don't get me wrong. But I think with improved camera work and with a boosted backing vocal, and I think just more support for Michael, I think there's a couple of elements they need to work on, but once they get there, it should be a pretty decent staging for this song.
Well, let's talk about the things, what they should focus on for the next rehearsal, what they should improve upon. And I said it before in one of my live streams or videos, I don't remember, but I did say it, is that Michael has the potential to become like a Lucy kind of candidate. Like he could actually go pretty big with the juries, and I really think in order for that to happen, he can sing. We already established that, and I pointed out just a minute ago. Bring up the backing vocals, bring that excitement, bring that little level of depth to it that I am missing right now, that even the juries will remember, because I think they will really, really appreciate. This is not covering up Michael's voice, because he don't need that. He doesn't need that at all. But it just really just switches it up a little and makes it a little bit more entertaining throughout the entire 3 minutes, because otherwise it becomes a little stale. So that is my focus right now. I think UK's best chance is to appease to the juries, and they can do really well. I can see them easily entering the top 10 with the juries if done right. So and I want the UK, because I think everyone's rooting for the UK to return to the left side of the scoreboard. So that is why I want them to do this. How about you?
None more so than me. So I think I agree with a lot of what you say. I've seen people saying that maybe this needed pyros. I think it could have worked. I think it's actually nice that but I think it's actually nice that we have got a performance for a change, because I know the UK they'll look at the menu for the fireworks and go, yep, I'll have all of that, please. Always seems to be the case every year. So almost subdued this year from the UK, which is a nice change of pace. Boost the backing vocals. I think Michael, once he's got into it a bit more, I think he will look a lot more comfortable on stage, and I think he will loosen up, and he'll sort of let flow of his vocal a bit more. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he'll be fine. Get rid of the filter from the second part of the song. So make the colours pop, make it really stand out, and I think just improve on the camera work. Get those 3 things in check, and I think we're looking at a decent staging this year. I'm not really going to worry about the result at the moment, because that will handle itself. But I think once we get those three things in place, the rest of it will sort of fall into place for me.
Yes, and I do think UK, out of all the Big Five, has the potential of one of the opportunity to improve the most, because there is a lot of potential to grow there. Because I know in my live stream I was less positive, but I do think, and in hindsight, you look at things, you look at the song, what they do and what they're trying to do, you just see, okay, I see your vision. I hope you're going to get accomplished. That's the thing, and they're not quite there yet. That's why we're doing this, and that's why we love doing it. But leave your thoughts below. Did you see the clip on YouTube? We would love to hear from you. Leave your thoughts below in the comments section. We're almost done. Yeah. Almost. You all have a good day.